Hello everyone and welcome. We're going to take a look here at these next couple of problems and solving radical equations. Okay, so again, just like in previous lessons, the recent previous lessons, where the key idea here is to isolate the radical, okay, in order to solve these equations. So here we can see our radical right there is the square root of x. So we're going to isolate this. To do that, excuse me, we'll need to add x to both sides, which will leave us with 3 plus x equals 4 times the square root of x. Again, at this point, if you want to truly isolate this square root of x right here, you could divide both sides by 4, like so. However, that's going to result in some fractions here and here, and depending on whether you like to deal with fractions or not, you may not want to divide by the 4, because at this point, we actually don't need to. What we could do right now is go ahead and square, just like we did up here, where we had the 2 root x. And we went ahead and just squared both sides. We can do that here as well. Remember that when you square in an equation setting, you can only square an entire side. You can't really square like individual parts. Okay, so we can't just like square this root x here and ignore the 4. It's got to be the whole side. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the squaring here. 3 plus x squared, remember, is going to be 3 plus x times 3 plus x. And then 4 root x squared is going to be 16, and then root x squared is going to be just x. So we'll multiply this out right here. So 3 times 3, 3 times x, we get 9 plus 3x. X times 3, x times x, so 3x plus x squared, like so. Whoops. Okay. Combine like term, oh sorry, when it equals 16x. Okay, combine like terms here. I'll draw a little line here too. So we'll have x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 16x. And again, we'll subtract the 16x from both sides. Since we have a quadratic here, we'll see if we can factor. We need to set it equal to 0 first. Minus 10x plus 9. And does this factor? Again, since the lead coefficient's 1 here, can you come up with two numbers that multiply to make positive 9, but add to make negative 10? And we can. It's x minus 9 and x minus 1. So we get x minus 9 equals 0. We get x minus 1 equals 0. X equals 9. Add 1 to both sides. X equals 1. Let's check our work. We'll test the 9. So root 9 is 3, times 4 is 12, 12 minus 9 equals 3, check. Let's try the 1. Root 1 is 1, 4 times 1 is 1, minus 1, and there we go. That does equal 3 as well. So both these answers work. Okay. Excuse me. Let's continue. All right, number 3. Root x plus 5 equals x minus 1. In this case, the radical is already isolated, so we can go ahead and square both sides. Squaring the square root there will give us exactly x plus 5. And then here, the x minus 1 squared will be, well, again, that's x minus 1 times x minus 1. So we'll have to multiply that out. X times the x and x times the minus 1 gives us x squared minus 1x. Minus 1 times x minus 1 times minus 1 equals minus 1x, and then plus 1 there. Subtract these two terms over as well. So I have 0 equals x squared minus 1x minus 1x minus 1x. So it's actually 3, right? Minus 3x, and then 1 minus 5 is minus 4. Okay, put that up here. And we'll factor. Again, pause the video and try and factor this. Can you come up with two numbers that multiply to make negative 4 but add to make negative 3? Okay, and the answer is negative 4 and positive 1. So we get x minus 4 equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0. So x equals 4, x equals negative 1. All right, let's do one more here. We'll do number 4. Now, number 4, there's 2 square roots. What should we do? Well, isolate one of them. Doesn't matter which one, pick one. Let's go ahead and just subtract the square root of 3x plus 7 from both sides. We have to subtract the whole quantity there because it's all one kind of term there because of the square root. Okay, so that's gone. We'll have 2 times the square root of x minus 8 equals negative square root of 3x plus 7. Now we have our square root isolated. We will square both sides. Okay, when you square a negative number or a negative root like this, it still just cancels out because it's a negative times a negative, so it becomes positive. So we're just going to end up with 3x plus 7 there because, again, that root and the square will cancel. Okay, likewise here, we're going to square the 2 and square the square root. So 2 squared gives us 4, and then square root of x minus 8, square root of x minus 8 squared is going to give us just x minus 8. Okay, so now we can just distribute the 4. And we'll have 3x plus 7. We'll subtract the 3x from both sides, and I'll also add the 32 to both sides. And so 4x take away 3x is going to give us x. That will cancel. Negative 3 minus 3x is gone, and then 7 plus 32 is 39. And so there's our answer. Let's check it just to make sure. 39, 3 times 39 plus 7, plus 2 times, square root of 39 minus 8 equals 0. Okay, so 3 times 39 is 117 plus 7, okay, plus 2 times the square root of 31, okay. Right away we can see here this is never going to equal 0 because this is going to be a positive answer, this is going to be a positive answer, and we're adding them together. There's no way to equal 0. So the answer truly is no solution. You might have looked at this and realized that as well, potentially, or you could have looked at this and realized that as well if you look at these two terms here. Again, it's a square root plus another square root, or 2 times a square root, right? And that's never going to equal 0. So anyway, we'll see you in the next video for example 2 and more.